This is the deadliest creature in the world. It's hard to believe, but this little insect kills hundreds of thousands of people a year. There are a lot of animals that bite or sting you, but this animal biting a person has caused more destruction than any other animal. This disgusting insect injects a person with different types of virus that causes a slow, drastic death, like malaria. There is no more introduction needed for this insect. Everybody knows it, the mosquito. Mosquito is a blood-sucking pest, but not all of them. Only females need blood because they need the nutrition inside it to lay eggs. When a female mosquito is ready to lay eggs, they just need a small body of water so she can lay her eggs. And in about 5 days, the eggs hatch. Usually dirty standing water is perfect for laying eggs for mosquitoes, but it could do it in clean water as well. Usually when you see a mosquito, it sits on a skin and bites the skin and starts sucking blood. We all think that it's a skinny needle that inserts the body and starts sucking like it's a straw. But if you see this needle under the microscope, you see 6 different types of needles. First of all, these 6 are inside a trunk-type skin. The 2 outside ones are blades that are kind of like saws, and they're the first ones that insert the skin and creates the hole. And it's good to note that these are the thinnest needles. The next sets are designed to hold the cut open so the work can be done. So these 2 act like a pry bar, while the main needle, that's basically the main straw that sucks the blood, inserts the skin. And in the beginning, it has to look for a blood vessel. The tip of a needle has a sensor that looks for a blood vessels and realizes where to puncture. When it eventually reaches the blood vessel, the main needle inserts into it and starts sucking the blood. But one needle is still left alone. What does that do? Its job is basically to insert a type of liquid that doesn't let the blood clot up, and it keeps the blood flowing. You might not know this, but 60% of human blood is made up of water, and the mosquito does not need this much water. And that is why, while it's sucking blood, it's basically urinating the water inside the blood. So its stomach has a separator. The female mosquito is only looking for that red blood cell. The itch you get after a mosquito bite is because of that little liquid it's sprayed in to keep the blood flowing. So it's not that bad, it just gets some blood and leaves, right? But before it pulls the main needle out, it leaves whoever it's sucking blood from a little present. Any virus that's inside the mosquito, it would leave a little sample in the place the blood was extracted. You have to take this part seriously. This is the reason mosquitoes are the deadliest creatures in the world. The virus does not belong to the mosquito itself, and when a mosquito is born, it doesn't have any virus inside it, but it gets different types of viruses from different animals and basically passes it around. From the day a mosquito is born to the day it dies, if it doesn't get killed by anyone, it lives about 1 week. But in this very short life, it does everything it needs to. It drinks blood, it passes it around different types of virus, and it lays eggs. So when it dies, it basically doesn't have any more wishes. Most animals in the world do something good for the planet, but mosquitoes don't do anything special. The only useful thing they're good for is that they're food for other types of animals, like frogs, different types of lizards, dragonfly, and many more. The story of the life of mosquito is so deadly that we don't know where to start. The deadliest virus that mosquitoes have passed around throughout history is malaria, and it has been killing humans for thousands of years. And the only thing to blame is the mosquito. First, let's learn what the word malaria means and where it's from. This word is made up of 2 Italian words. Mal means bad, and aria means air. so it means bad air. And the reason is, back in the day, they thought pollution was causing this virus to kill people. They didn't know that it's this little insect's fault. You have to know this, not every mosquito has malaria. These mosquitoes are very low in numbers and they live in certain parts of the world. Do you see this map? The red section, it means malaria occurs throughout all of it, and the red sections are parts of the equator. In the yellow section, it occurs in some part, and in the green sections, it's basically eradicated. But allow us to get to know this virus a little bit better. When the malaria virus enters your body, it goes into the bloodstream and quickly gets itself to the liver. The virus itself, just like the mosquito, is very scary and strategic. It enters the body in a way where it tricks the white blood cells, and it tricks the body in a way where the white blood cells don't realize that there is an intruder in the body, and that is why the virus very easily gets itself to the liver. When the virus enters your body, in the beginning, the person doesn't feel a thing because the virus has not began the plan yet. The virus first starts to multiply inside the liver. When the virus amount starts to rise inside the human liver, it makes itself look like a red blood cell, and then it enters the bloodstream. If you look at a red blood cell compared to a malaria virus that's making itself look like a blood cell, it looks like this. The left one is a malaria virus, and just like the red blood cell on the right, it's not smooth whatsoever. When all this is happening, the human is not feeling a thing. But after a while, your immune system realizes that there is an intruder inside the body, and you could say it feels scammed, and all of a sudden, it starts attacking the virus. But the malaria virus is more clever than you think. It starts changing its shape and form to dumb down the white blood cells, and they don't realize that what's an intruder or what is good, and they don't know which one to attack. This is the time people start feeling sick, feeling a fever, they sweat heavily, and it could even put the person into a coma. It has already attacked the liver, and now it's time to attack the kidneys, and it's this stage that it could cause kidney failure. So what does a patient that's suffering from this have to do? They have to immediately get to the hospital. The later you go to the hospital, the chances of living is quite slim, because the longer you take, the more damage your body parts are taking. That is why when people go to areas that have malaria, like for example Central Africa, beforehand they have to take a certain vaccine, they have to take certain medications in the trip, and whenever they get back from the trip, they have to be tested to make sure there's no malaria in their system. If you've seen our video about rabies, you'll know that rabies mostly kills people in very poor countries and conditions, and that's mainly in Africa and India. Malaria is pretty much the same thing. When you don't have access to doctors and hospital, the amount of death in that area is extremely high. You might not believe it because we're in 2023, but statistics shows in the year 2022, more than 600,000 people were killed with malaria. Do you see how many people this thing is killing? How is something so small killing this many people? And the 600,000 people that died last year was 100% the mosquitoes' fault. The oldest writing about a sickness like this is about 2,000 years old in China. From that time to this day, more than 300 million people have died because of this virus, and it was all because of the mosquito. So that is why this disgusting creature is the deadliest animal on earth. So who's in second place? First comment, see who gets it right. The second deadliest animal is this, the human, and humans are responsible for 430,000 deaths per year. The third deadliest animal on earth are saltwater snails, and you could find these guys everywhere. And just like mosquitoes, it's not the snail itself, but rather than the parasite that they carry. And because of these parasites, more than 200,000 people die per year. To counter mosquitoes in your area, you have to make sure you don't create a nest for it where they can lay eggs. And that means don't leave standing water near your house, because this water could be a perfect place for the mosquito to lay eggs. They say for places that you can't solve, pesticides is the best idea, and the mosquitoes stay away from that entire area.